Hi, my name is Audrey Joe-Ezigbo. It is my distinct honor, my privilege, to be part of Thinkation 2021 Dare to Fly. I want to believe that this is going to be the first of many, many memorial events that will yet hold as we celebrate and immortalize this great man, Ubong King, who sadly died on the 26th of December 2020. Ubong was a father, he was a husband, he was a friend, not just to his wife Uyime, but to thousands. He was a mentor, he was an encourager, he was a minister, he was a businessman par excellence. Ah yes, the world lost someone great that day. I had spoken to a friend who said that based on the tribute that she saw me post about him, she had gone and, kind of read up about him. She is a phenomenal leader herself, but she didn't know him, even though she had heard of him. And when she came back to me, she said something I will never forget. She said to me that Nigeria just lost their own Miles Monroe. I don't know what other kind of, accolade will exemplify and properly articulate the impact that this man had on our lives. We'll forever miss him, but we will also, generations indeed, will be forever blessed by him. My own father passed on a couple of weeks later, and while he died at a greatly different age from Ubong, there is something that struck me about their lives, and that is the fact that both of them touched countless people in love and in absolute humility. That both of them, nations literally rose up to mourn when their lives ended. And so this then is a question to you and to I, as to what we're doing with our time and what we're doing with our lives. And whether we're just wallowing in this season, or we're literally recognizing the fact that God is sending a message to us, that we don't have that much time left, and we cannot continue the way we are. There is a coming up higher that needs to happen. And that is why this session is very aptly themed, Dare to Fly. I want to quote something that Steve Jobs said. He said, "Your time is limited, so don't waste it living anyone else's." And I add, don't waste it living the less than the very best version of you. Steve Jobs said, don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most importantly, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you want to become, and everything else is secondary. Let me tell you, my brothers and my sisters, this is not the time to be listening to the naysayers. This is not the time to be focused on the things that are not working. This is the time to press in and make a decision for yourself that my life is going to be grossly different and better so. The theme is Dare to Fly. Dare to fly. What does dare mean? Now, various definitions of the word dare can speak to you in different ways. Dare means being brave enough to do something that is difficult or maybe even dangerous. Dare means to be adequately or sufficiently courageous, to have the kind of courage that allows you to contend with certain things, to venture out into certain things, to give it a shot. Listen, Eleanor Roosevelt said something. She said, "You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you stop and look fear in the face." You're able to say to yourself, I lived through this horror, I can take the next thing that came along. And you must do that thing that you think you cannot do. My brothers and my sisters, listen, the pandemic and everything associated with it is a horror indeed. We haven't seen this kind of a thing before. But let me tell you something, you are alive and you are well. You are living in it and you will live through it. And you must have the strength, the courage, and the confidence to venture past all of the negativity that surrounds you today. Dare. To dare means to be bold. It means to be venturesome. It means that you are not afraid to take on a venture. It means you want to challenge the things that are in the face of you, that you want to provoke the things that look like realities. You want to defy the odds. You want to dare. Arthur Clarke says that the only way of discovering the limits to the possible is to venture a little way past them into the impossible. Let me promise you that this is the season where you want to stare at the impossibilities in the face and ask, how can I get around this? Dare. You need to fix your focus in this season. Let me tell you, the things that cloud your understanding is going to be pandemic, is going to be people that are dying, is going to be the situation in the economy. And as long as all you are looking to deliver on is colored by the challenges you see, let me promise you that you will not move, much less fly. Do you get what I'm saying? Face the realities of your issues, yes, but I want you to think past these frames. You know what they call frames, right? Think past them. They are settling around you and they are constraining the possibilities. Listen, in all that is going on at this point in time, can I promise you that there are yet those who are in this season finding the best versions of themselves. There are those who in this season are finding the most profitable versions of themselves. There are some who in this season are finding the most creative and expressive versions of themselves. Why would your story be any different? Let me tell you, there are people in this season that are taking their intellectual content, the things that they already know, the things that they have garnered by experience in the different fields that they've worked in, and they are creating courses. They are putting courses on Coursera, on Udemy, on different platforms, and they are making money in dollars. What are you doing? There are people who are looking at the constraints that the pandemic and the logistics challenges that it has faced. They are looking at them and they are seeing the gaps in the way we do life now, and they are thinking, how can I bridge this? What is tickling your mind right now about the possibilities that are ahead of you? Could you ever have imagined that an event planner will be making money by online parties? Can you imagine that? And they've taken it a step further. They have still found ways to box food and box gifts and make sure that on the day of your event, those things are delivered to people so that they have a true experience of whatever it is you're celebrating. Would you have imagined that such things will come out of the creation, they'll be created out of a pandemic? Listen, in the season that we're in, my brothers and sisters, daring to fly is not about perfection. It is about moving. So I want to quote something for you. Michael Dell, he says, listen, don't spend so much time trying to choose the perfect opportunity that you miss the right opportunity. Let me promise you that in this season we're in, it is laden with opportunities. Unless you open your eyes, unless you allow your limitless thinking to come on, you are not going to see them. You cannot fly. You cannot fly unless you make a move. I want to place a charge before you. Listen, do not allow your potential to deliver and deploy greatness in 2021 to be sacrificed on the altar of inactivity and of limited vision and of fear. Don't allow that happen to you. There is a quotation from Elaine Maxwell. She said, "My success or failure shall be no one's doing but my own." You need to own where you are. I am the first, she says. I can clear any obstacle before me, or I can be lost in the maze. It's your choice. It's my choice, it's my responsibility. Win or lose, only I hold the key to my destiny. Do you realize that you are sitting on your destiny? I can say it confidently. We have all heard the stories of people that overcame all sorts of odds and obstacles to make it to where they are today. So what is your excuse? Some don't even have arms or legs. Some can't see, some can't speak. Therefore, you are the author of your destiny. You may be your own naysayer. You may be the one who is trying to talk yourself past moving, and you are the one trying to talk yourself out of your prospects for greatness. Let me tell you today, from today, I want you to ask yourself and make yourself to push past that negative side of you. Listen, even with where I am today, I am not standing still, I promise you. I'm moving and I am flying higher. You know what? I pushed last year. Last year I pressed into some things, but you know, when I did a self-assessment at the end of the year, I recognized between God and myself that there were still gaps in my assignment, that my potential and my final delivery were not at the level that it could have been. And when I did that assignment, I could only see that one of the key reasons why I didn't make those moves, I should say, is because I was trying to decide which part of me I wanted to be more prominent, more visible. And in the process, I placed a self-inflicted cap on myself and the things that I should have done. Because you know what? I am a 360 person. And by the grace of God, I can and should and will express myself in every way that the Lord has given me the capacity to. And that's what some of us need to do now. So this is me in 2021, and I am moving, and I'm inviting you on this journey. I have determined that I will not end this year in the same place. And I have put my money behind it. I have put my time behind it. I've put my resources behind it into birthing new things in this year. I have found people who have the skills that I do not have, but which I need for me to do these things that I need to do. And you know what? I am opening myself to be tutored by people younger than myself. I am opening myself to be tutored by people who have been in business for significantly less years than I have. But guess what? They have the special skills. They have the know-how. They have the technology that I need. And so I'm submitting myself humbly to them. I recognize on this journey that some people will laugh, but I promise you I will laugh last. You need to get off your own horse and say to yourself, whatever it takes, I am moving forward and pressing in. I will fly this year. I remember I told Ubong something as we prepared for Thinkation 2020. I said to him, Ubong, there is big in me. That big will not manifest in greater measure continually if I continue to focus on what I don't have, if I continue to look at what the challenges around me are, if I continue to look at who is on the journey with me, who will support me, who will not support me, who is saying this, who is not saying that. Listen, Cher, some of you may remember her. She said something. She says, until you are ready to look foolish, you will never have the possibility of being great. Dare to fly. Dare to fly, my brother. Dare to fly, my sister. What does dare mean? I want to give you something. I was looking for an acronym and I saw this one and it says define, assess, respond, and evaluate. Define what? Listen, define for yourself what it is you can do and cannot do. And this is not to say what you should or should not do. I said identify for yourself what you can and cannot do. What is it you want to do and what is it you do not want to do? Activate the limitless side of your brain, the side that does not yet ask how. On this journey of flying, I want to ask you to suspend the reality of how. Let's just try to see what the possibilities are first. Maya Angelou says that hope and fear cannot occupy the same space. You have to invite one to stay. I am asking you on this journey, Thinkation 2021, invite hope to stay. Assess. You need to assess what it is that you need. And you need to assess what it is that you have. So whether it is your ideas, your skills, your finances, the technology, the relationships, identify them. And then you need to identify who you need and who you have. And be very clear that who you have may not be who needs to go on this journey with you. And be ready to change your associations if it comes to that. Identify for yourself who can you assess that has what you need or can connect you to someone that has what you need. Let me tell you something. It is important that you yourself, however, are bringing value to the table, no matter how small. You must bring value to the table. So on this journey of daring to fly, let me challenge you to level up. Let me challenge you to build capacity. Let me challenge you to stretch your mind. Go learn something. Change your relationships. Get into new networks. And then you have to respond. What does respond mean? It means you're going to build a plan. You're going to do the work of connectivity after you've done this assessment. You're going to design a blueprint. What one step needs to go after the other? What one connection needs to follow after the other? And you have to think. On the journey of daring to fly, you have to think. And please note, I have not said you have to worry. Don't worry. I'm asking you to think. What does think mean? It means to have information and knowledge. Information and knowledge. So there is a call on you to go deeper. You yourself. Document things. Research it. Speak to people. Gather the information and then process it. And then that takes me to the E, and that's evaluate. All these things you've done, you bring them together and you look and you try to determine for yourself, what is it that I really have to work for? And work with. And as you establish what you have to work with, make sure that you put it in writing. There is something about putting things in writing that brings them to life. Dare to fly. Dare to fly. Dare to fly. This is the season and the opportunity for flight. And flying means what? It means to take flight. It means to soar. It means to take off. It means to journey through and over and above. It means you fly in the face of things, or you fly in the teeth of things. You stand bravely. You act forthrightly. You are defiant of the things that are contradicting those things you want to go into. You stand and you go over and above the things that have been positioned to constrain you. It is time to fly. Nora Roberts said something I love. She says, if you don't go after what you want, you will never have it. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. If you don't step forward, you are always in the same place. May you not find yourself in the same place at the end of 2021. None of that. This is the time for flight, for limitless thinking, for possibilities to manifest in your life. As long as you do what? Move. Listen. In this year 2021, I want to encourage you and tell you this. You have to be grossly allergic to status quo. You must have an infinitesimally low tolerance for average. The mediocre must make your skin crawl. You must break this frame of impossibility thinking. Anything they tell you, oh, it's impossible. Oh, I don't have. Oh, I don't know. It has to end. I said, suspend the reality of how we will get there. If you have a circle of negativity around you, then you better find new associations, even virtual ones. People that make you want to be better and do better. Find people that make you, they call out that your potential to be more and to do more. Find those people, follow them on social media, connect with them where it is possible. Having said that, let me put a caveat on this, your journey to fly. Don't be afraid to go solo until you are connected to your dream expanders and your champions. You know this thing we talk about destiny helpers. Yes, we praise God for them. But first and foremost, it's about those that connect and continue to push you on your dream. Don't be afraid to go solo as long as this thing is burning in your heart until you are connected to your dream expanders and your champions. Persistence. That is the vehicle, all your aspirations. It is persistence that will help you to arrive at your destination. This is your season to fly. And what does it mean to fly? Flying right now is you giving yourself permission to unleash that limitless version of you. It is you giving yourself permission to take the necessary first steps that will establish you on the foundation of the thing that God wants to build with you. When you want to fly, I give you 3 words: your face, your leverage, and you. First and foremost is face. I can't say it enough. Face your fears. Face your desired future. That vision of your desired future, the things you know can happen, should be enough to make you look at fear and step over it, regardless of what you see. L comes for leverage. It stands for leverage. Leverage your abilities. Leverage your knowledge, your contacts. Leverage smallest of opportunities around you. Leverage whatever little resources that you have. Leverage the partnerships that are possible around you. Leverage them. You know what? Leverage even what others have done. There is nothing wrong with that. You can look at a winning formula and see what unique slant you can bring onto it. Leverage it, but my brother, my sister, just do something. Do something. The you in it is for you to realize that you are all you have. This life is all you have. This time is all you have. Let me tell you something. You hear it often enough. We are not in a dress rehearsal. This is it. This is the stage. There is nothing else. What would happen? This is another quote from someone. She's called Sarah Brethnach. And she says, what if you began to expect the best from any situation? Even a pandemic, for instance, what would happen if you started to expect the best? Isn't it possible that you could possibly write new chapters in your life with happy endings? Suspend your disbelief. Take a leap of faith. After all, what have you got to lose but misery and lack? Listen, as long as you are dissatisfied with where you are currently, then let me tell you, you have to suspend your disbelief, suspend the negativity, suspend it, take that leap of faith. The worst that can happen is that nothing will shift. And the best that could happen is that you yourself transform and become an agent of continuous transformation in the lives of others, just as the troublemaker was. Flying is giving yourself the permission to unleash you, Flying means finally loving yourself. Flying is finally liberating yourself from these shackles that keep you bound all the time. Flying is you finding your limitless you. Mark Twain said this. He said, 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do than by the things that you did do. So throw off the bowline, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover. You know what? Move away from the safe harbor. The safe harbor is this place where we just stay and complain, where we just talk non-stop, where we just, everything is, we know how to complain, yet we take no steps. This is the season to dare to fly. Be bold, be courageous. Do something different. Do something different. Change your trajectory. And the question is this: not who is not going to let me, but who is going to stop me. It is my charge to you that this year you take, in fact, starting from today, not even tomorrow, do something different. Open your mind to think. And I promise you, when we gather for Thinkation 2021, yours will be a very different narrative. Once again, I thank you for listening. And I pray that something that I've said will ignite that fire inside you that I know is there. And I'm looking forward to see you fly. I am looking forward to see you fly.